Hey sports fans, Coach Nick here and welcome to B-Ball Breakdown. There are some encouraging signs for the Pacers, particularly because their top three of Hibbert, George, and Granger all had very subpar games, yet they were right there down the stretch. Without Chris Bosh, the Heat should be very concerned for the rest of the playoffs if he doesn't come back, because with Hibbert, the Pacers have the real advantage down low in the post, but they don't go and use it enough, and it's very frustrating to watch. The Pacers start the second half with a kind of screwy play. You'll see a cross screen for Hibbert, but then watch George Hill cut through the lane and get a weird angle to feed the post. It gets knocked away, but Hibbert still gets it and gets a really good shot down low, but just happens to miss. Indiana needs to radically change the way they guard the screen and roll on the sideline. Granger should step up and force the baseline, and Hibbert should slide down and guard the penetration. Instead, LBJ gets into the lane and then dishes the roller for a dunk. The Pacers had all kind of trouble getting into an offense. It took them way too long to get into it. And here's a screen and roll kind of, but Hill picks the ball up without using the screen. And here's the famous fronting of the post you'll see. You can't feed the post from the top like that, especially with the front. They bring it over, and then there's West. All he can do, though, is throw up a bad shot with no time on the clock. Problems on the defensive end, too. Watch how David West hedges sort of, but then backs up and lets LeBron James hit a little runner. But it gets worse. Watch Hibbert twice in this possession do an awful hedge, backing up and letting LeBron get in the lane, and then his man Turioff screens again, and he backs up, compresses the defense, and they get a foul. Terrible. And again, Indiana can take advantage of Collison being guarded by Wade because Collison's quicker, can get into the lane. Here he drives and kicks, and they get a wide open three. Indiana kind of gave up on trying to post because the Heat were fronting, so they had West screen for the ball, but they didn't even make contact on these screens, but there's enough Collison penetration, and that gets West open enough to hit a jumper. And here's my answer to the fronting problem. You might remember this from the Knicks-Heat series. When George comes over to post up and they front him, it's very simple. They should put a pass to the top and then duck in and then hit him from there for a layup. Instead, the clock winds down, Collison clears out the side and takes a lousy outside jumper. It's clear that Granger on LeBron is not a good matchup. And even make matters worse, after he penetrates, watch how he doesn't even box him out on this shot and he gets a layup. And it wasn't just Granger. On this drive, I want you to watch how Hansbrough and West don't try and find anybody to box out, and Anthony ended up scoring 9 points in this game. With Barbosa in there and Mike Miller guarding him, that's a good advantage for the Pacers, and here he's going to score in some pinch post action, but Barbosa was a -15, a game high, or low. The Pacers need to adjust their offensive positioning a little bit because here they're going to get a screen and roll switch and get the defense to rotate. The Heat will now double the ball. There's nobody on the high post. Instead, you got Granger and Hansbrough next to each other. And when you put the ball on the ground against the Heat, you're in trouble. It takes too long to get the ball around. Collison passes up what could have been a shot and turns it over instead. Here you'll see Granger come up high and then dive down to the low post, and that gets him open. He even draws a double team on Battier. But if Collison doesn't hit this three kick out, look out. The Heat can get out on the break and get an easy shot almost every time. So you better make those if you're going to take them. It's crunch time and you want to get the ball to your best advantage, which is Roy Hibbert in the post being fronted. But having Paul George there allows Battier to come over, tip that ball out on that bad lob by Barbosa and get the steal. The Pacers try and cross screen for Hibbert, but Anthony still fronts him. On a good ball fake though by George, Hibbert gets good position, is very patient, has a big size advantage down there, and simply gets his bearings, turns, and scores. With the awful way that Hibbert hedges when his man screens, the Heat are going to take advantage of this all series long. Watch how open LeBron is here when he comes around that screen because Hibbert's so low. They're going to have West come over every time to help. Down the stretch, you think they go to Hibbert, but instead he's just screening up high on the ball and not getting good position down low to score easily. This makes no sense. Look at the awful shot they get. So Frank Vogel was very frustrating to me because, again, they don't put Hibbert down the low post. They have him come way up high to ball screen. And the shot they end up getting is a long three by Paul George, who falls down. Remember what I said about making those threes? If you don't make them, it's a poster. Their last chance down 7 with a minute to go, and instead of attacking Anthony in the post with Hibbert, Anthony fronts him. There's no counter at all, and Barbosa is left to go one-on-one and then give Hibbert a pass, who then throws up a half-hearted shot. Game over.